I love ComiColor cartoons, and Jack and the Beanstalk is obviously a brilliant classic story. So I was really looking forward to checking out the 1933 version, and I have to say it's okay. It's not my favorite, but it's definitely not bad. This is directed by Iwerks, Shamus, Culhane, and Eugster, and we have writers including Otto Englander, Ben Hardaway, and George Manuell. And the story is pretty classic. Jack exchanges his cow for some beans, plants them, the beanstalk grows, up he goes, and there's a giant. I think one of the reasons why it's not my favourite is I don't necessarily love a lot of the animation. In general, it wouldn't be a problem, but it's not what I was looking for Jack and the Beanstalk, and I can't quite put my finger on it. But I think part of it is the design of Jack. He's not badly animated, I just don't love the style. And the other is the giant. And I feel like the giant wasn't interesting enough. I think they could have done a bit more with him to make him a bit more visually engaging, considering he is such a key character in the story. On the flip side, I did like seeing Jack interacting with the giant table and this little Jack next to this big hen, and there are some other classic elements such as the harp and things that we can recognise from other versions of Jack and the Beanstalk. So in general, it wasn't too bad. And in fact, a bit of animation that I did love because it was so unexpected is the fact that the cow is basically skeletal. I've never seen such a skeletal cow in Jack and the Beanstalk, usually because the stories are aimed at children and that's maybe a little bit gruesome, but it works very well. So there are bits of the animation that I loved. There are bits that I didn't really care for, but I wouldn't say I didn't like it at any point. And the narrative flows well enough. The pacing is really good. I think Jack could have spent a little bit more time interacting with his surroundings once he was up the beanstalk, but again, it wasn't too bad, but it could have been a little bit better. Would I recommend it? Absolutely. If you're a fan of Jack and the Beanstalk, I think it's a cartoon, a version of it that's worth checking out. Would it be my first recommendation? No. I don't know which one would be, but I have seen quite a few Jack and the Beanstalks, and there are many that I consider to be just more entertaining than this, better animated, or with a different animation style that pleases me more. If this is your kind of style, then that's absolutely fine. But I can't fault it, really. The story flows well enough, the animation is consistent in its style, it's not badly animated. Just in terms of personal preference, I would have liked things in certain places, such as with the giant, the design of the giant, to be a little bit more visually interesting. And the pacing is, as I said, okay, but again, it would have been nice to have spent a little bit more time up the beanstalk with Jack and got to that point just a tiny bit quicker. But in general, I enjoyed it. It's not a bad ComiColor cartoon. It's not the first Jack and the Beanstalk I'd recommend, but if you're a fan of the story, or if you're a fan of ComiColor, then I'd say it's worth checking out.